Hello guys.
Hello everyone, how you doing?
This is behind the scenes.
Yay, with a special
Exactly, we have a
guest.
guest today, as you know. We haven't had a guest in a while, right?
It's been your first guest this year actually.
That is true.
Thank you, I'm so privileged.
Please introduce yourself. They
Let
know
us
you
know.
from the comments now.
Exactly.
You see her
Yes.
on the screen.
So my name is Gwen Samaai, and I'm David's older sister.
Yes.
One of David's
Yes.
sisters. And so that's it.
Yay.
Yes, and
We're so happy to have
we
you.
are,
So much.
Gwen is a fan of ours, we are a fan of Gwen.
Yes, very
And
good.
as Tuli said, our YouTube is full of Gwen's comments, so we are follow suit, learn from the master. Comment. So today we're just gonna talk to Gwen about a topic I think that's quite important to us, but when we're young it's not so important, but it becomes important. So Gwen has been retired now for
6.5.
see,
Wow.
and retirement is something that we don't always think about. I mean, I'm 47. And, well, no, not yet. I'm going to be 47.
Nearly.
And it's something that should be high on my agenda. But let's just say that some of us drop the ball sometimes. So, we just wanted to sit and chat with Gwen about, her journey.
You've been working your whole life and then all of a sudden there's this thing. It's like, okay, pause. Was it daunting in the beginning?
Okay, well, firstly, I think you think about retirement in the job that I did. Okay, so I'm a trained nurse, retired as a trained nurse. In our company, because I worked with the clinic, they spoke about retirement. I was fortunate that one, I had a job, two, that I contributed towards a pension, and they always sent us like information about the pension, so you knew that should you retire now, this is what you got, what's going to be your worth, and so on. So it wasn't really daunting. I kind of like looked forward to working. I basically enjoyed my job very much. I didn't really think too much about retirement. So it really wasn't daunting, but we needed to begin to prepare.
Right.
And when I say prepare, I'm not single.
Right.
I'm married. And
Oh, really?
so,
I didn't know.
so I don't think it was so daunting until it happened.
Right.
Because I was kind of looking forward to my
Yes.
retirement. I didn't think that it was anything negative.
And how old was your youngest child?
Ruth is born in 1986.
Okay.
And so all the children were married. I didn't have to
Right.
think about them. They were kind of all sorted.
So
They
no
were
one in
speaking-
like standard two.
No. They were
Stop it.
I retired in 2015 and Ruth got married in 2013. So her life was kind of all together. So
That's
awesome.
I didn't have to consider
Wow.
the children at all.
It's not all bad though, isn't it? Because when I think of like the ideal retirement is you've got the finances sorted and you can basically not just do what you want, but now you
Maintain your standard of living at least.
Well, but I'm talking about like, for example, when we work, we don't have time for X and we don't have time for Y, and ideally I would always thought, okay, now your space has opened so that the things that work, the time that work to can be used for interest.
Leisure.
Okay,
For
I'm
leisure.
glad that you actually bring that up because I think people who are young, you don't actually think about what you're going to do when you retire. But you're thinking about retirement and you're only really thinking about the money. There are
And then how to use
many,
your time.
yes, there's many considerations. I feel, firstly, you've got to enjoy your job. Give it your all,
Yes.
and while you are doing your work, still continue to do what you love.
Right.
Because in my situation, I was housewife for 10 years. A lot of people don't know that.
Right.
And so I grew my children up, and I only really started working when my youngest child, Ruth, was basically in preschool.
Okay.
So that was going back. So in that time, I was a dressmaker. So I knew that once I retire, I would continue to do that. And people don't think that they need to prepare for their retirement. So I think it's very important to already have a hobby,
Right.
so that when you retire, you're basically continuing your other part of your
Yes.
job. In terms of like stuff that you don't consider is that once you retired, people say that you retired.
Right. So
You don't have.
expand on that.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think that this is something that people don't really tell you until you have to experience it yourself. I can't say I'm working.
Right. Yes.
I have to say I used to work.
Mm.
And it's a new language that you don't really get.
Right.
It's, for me, it was a bit of a hurdle. You were saying
Yes.
what was daunting.
Right.
It's not daunting until you
Yes.
don't retire from life and the
Right.
things that
Yes.
you retire from
From
your job.
Yeah.
And the one thing I want to just mention, just by the way, is that people couldn't understand why I didn't want to still continue to work.
Mm.
So people would offer you a job,
Oh.
and the one lady said to me, "What are you going to be doing at home, sitting and looking at the four walls?" And I thought, you don't know me.
Right.
I
I'm
do
not
not
looking
know.
at four walls.
But people have so many opinions. Like
Right.
people will comment even if they know
Then-
you this much.
Yes.
For
They'll
sure.
still think
Absolutely.
you need their comments
Yeah.
in your
Yes.
life. No, guys, stop it.
Stop it now.
How?
Go on Twitter.
But I do think that the one advice that one has to be very careful. You need to know that you've retired, you've worked. You
It's
don't
your
have,
money.
Yes, that's
your
also
You have
true.
life.
It's
That's
your
right.
money.
Yeah.
Be
Yes.
sensible.
Yes.
If people come and they think that you have money
Yeah.
because they know you're retired, people know how to come and borrow.
Right.
There's a way of saying no,
Yeah.
and that's finished.
Right.
No, is a
And
full
you're allowed to
sentence.
say no is a like you're allowed to say no
Yes.
to your things. You need to be assertive enough to say no.
No. The other thing about on the psychological side is that I worked in a room.
Mm-hmm.
I was consulting with people on a daily basis, so you're talking all the time.
And
Right.
now you're home. There's
Now
no
you're
humans.
talking, you're not talking anymore.
Right.
You don't have those people you're speaking
Wow.
to. And they say, one, if you don't talk, your mouth smells. Two, you get older because your mouth's like this.
Right. All these things. Oh my goodness.
And you basically, the smile that stays becomes
Okay.
like
Mm.
this. And it's like, okay, so I had another 2 more years. I mean,
Right.
he still, okay, so I retired at just age 61 and a half, and he was retiring at age 66.
Right.
And so I was like, I had, we weren't retiring together.
Yes.
And I mean, he continued to work.
Yeah.
And so I think that one needs to look at the psychological aspects
Right.
of retiring because you don't realize that the X and the used to and is something that you don't consider. So
Right.
that is the part, the daunting part.
Yes. And like what would you say to like a 20-year-old who's just started a job? What would you just like quick advice?
Living their best life.
Yeah, and then because I think like even as a 20-year-old, my idea was I've got energy, I've got a good job, I've got a profession, I've got a degree. So and I'm in a profession that is gonna be like I was doing IT, so I thought computers aren't going anywhere. But I can promise you that if you had come to me at 20 or whenever I started work at 23, I would have just laughed it off and said, I'm gonna be fine. But I wish I could go back to that, and start. So like, how would you approach a young person and give them the best advice, which is important, to start planning and to start preparing?
Yeah, I think the one thing is to, you need to save.
Yes.
So when you talk about saving, there's many ways of saving.
Right.
I would say, there's a lot of things in second-hand shops.
Right.
Seriously,
Yes.
go to the second-hand stores.
Basically, there's if you might think I don't have money, but there's ways to.
That's right, you can go to second-hand stores.
But also, if you need a chest of drawer or whatever,
Right.
instead of going
and get
to
credit or
what's
whatever.
an expensive one,
For
weekends
the craft.
or whatever,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, number one.
Right.
You must row your own boat.
Right.
Do not think about what
That
other
is
people
so
are
important.
doing.
Thank you. Yes.
Because I think that if you think about if you're trying to impress people,
Right.
that's wrong.
I think that's
That-
the biggest one of
that
the biggest.
does not work.
Yes. that is common.
Number 4,
Yeah.
there are clinics.
Right.
Why are you going to pay the doctor? You don't have a medical
Yeah,
aid.
Gwen used to tell me
No,
this.
you go to the clinic. There are people that are trained.
Right. Yes.
And it's a waiting game.
Yes.
But think about how much money you're saving if you go
Right.
to the clinic.
Yes.
And I think just the
Live
minimum,
within your means.
try and live within your means. So one of the things that we learn from a person is that, you know, try not to have too many accounts,
Right.
and don't borrow money from other people.
Right.
You know, don't lend people money that
Yes.
you don't have.
Right.
I think there's a lot of sacrifices that you make.
Yes.
And then, like, if you
But it
have
pays
extra
off,
money,
yeah.
yes, if you have extra money,
Mm.
try and put that money like on a 32-day call account. And also, there's people who, when you get like when they get their 13 check, they're thinking about all the things that
You're gonna buy.
they buy. And we were fortunate that we got a 13 check working for the ATEC clinic. And we always put that money away for the big things, like,
Right.
for example, you know,
Yes.
okay, in our case, I was 25 and I was married by then.
Mm.
So that's the kind of money that we would put away for the children's schoolings and things like
Right.
that.
Yes.
So I think that's the one thing. And you got to think about the future. If you have an opportunity to, this is number 6, is grab it.
Right.
Start with your scorer.
Yes. You don't have to.
You don't have to start with something new.
Yeah.
And people that are like our age, you don't think that they've just got it made.
Right.
You work for them.
They
were-
started somewhere.
Yeah.
And the next thing I want to say is that when you are young, you don't think about what it's like when you're 40.
You don't.
And when it's
Absolutely.
40, when you're
Yes.
40, you don't think
about.
about, because
Yeah.
I'm 68 now, and,
Right.
and I still look at the 40-year-olds and I think, y'all don't know
Yeah.
where we
You
come
don't know.
from.
Yes, that's absolutely
So I think that, you know, I think it's also like, talk to the older people.
Right, for
Tell
sure.
us, you know, say to them, hey, tell us a
Tell
little
us,
bit about
yeah,
really
yeah.
your start and how you manage.
I always send him a meme of this couple traveling and they're on a boat.
Yes, and then like yes.
They're sleeping. So I think what I picked up from Gwen is that life needs to be balanced.
Yes.
Because even while she was working, you still,
She
have
still-
your hobbies, have
Yes,
your things you
that's
love
right.
to do.
And
so
Gwen-
don't wait, guys.
Don't wait. And Gwen
Yeah.
is like,
Balance.
she hasn't mentioned this, but she's well traveled, and I mean, you guys traveled even when you were working.
Yes, that
And so it's not like you lived a stingy life. And I'm not saying, but you
Yes,
I'm
yes,
not saying
balanced.
yes, it was balanced.
yeah.
And you didn't save like, okay, I'm gonna travel only, because that's going to the meme. It's like these people are traveling,
Waiting.
they're waiting to retire, and they now
The energy is zapped.
they got no energy to travel. So
Yeah.
you've lived.
Okay, so Sarai was involved with certain kind of travel. So I basically, in 1997, so
Yes.
I kind of jumped on the
Yes.
bandwagon, and I had a car,
Right.
and we sold the car to travel.
Right.
Because there was,
Right.
seriously, there was like
Of
no
course.
money. So,
Right.
and even while we were away, we weren't buying gifts for anybody.
Yes.
There was no money. The
yes.
money was basically to fund the children.
Right.
There was
The gift is that
Yes.
we are homesick.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes, the
And
gift.
if you've got family abroad,
Mm.
and you have the opportunity to travel, stay with them.
Exactly.
Right. You don't
You know,
have to.
Uti right.
Stop it, man.
When? Uti right. David doesn't like discomfort, guys. David is a luxury
No, but
man.
wait.
God just
Too much-
needs to give you the money for your luxury. That
No,
happens in
hey.
your head.
Right. I was gonna say, to my defense, Gwen said family. Where's the family in London? I know Elka and Naveen, they'll smack me, but
Exactly. Please smack him. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah. But anyway, Gwen, we are so grateful
Thank you
that
guys.
you shared
Thank you,
with
guys.
us, and
Thank you
it's
very much.
important advice. Like I
Yeah.
think this is like stuff it's life changing, you know. And I just hope that there's some like 23-year-olds like I was who will listen and take the advice and start early, because it's the younger you start, the easier it is.
Guys, here, you see how much we love you. We bring you
Bring you
cream off the crop.
Gems.
Yeah, well? Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. Do share, like,
Subscribe.
Exactly. Hopefully see you soon at a live game.
Yes.
Gwen will be there dancing
Gwen will
away.
be there. Absolutely. You can meet her in person.
Yes, exactly.
Thanks, guys. Bye.